Deputy Education Minister. Mr. Blackwood,
Hey, Chairman General, Major so.
Meton catching Tiafisha Pansubium.
I feel completely.
Me train near say a train, also. And yeah, me no come. Now, me starting from a different angle and some about urgent question no sumpacho. And maybe a chairman now you're Deputy Minister Education. Now, it drew to say textbooks near the a quite many fashion.
Yo, me that's a big kind, my main chair, Tiafonia.
Yeah, Joseph.
There were two types of textbook production. There were the buying a commission, that is Ministry of Education. Yeah, kasa ya free your textbook authors, and you from more consultants, and I am on more contracts. ABR Primary 1 and JHS 2 in line with the curriculum, no? You have a particular textbook produced. And you need consultants, no? Normally professors, doctors in the chosen field. And the integrated science and mathematics, you need the experts who are authorities in that subject area. Now you commission now or more produce what we call the transcripts. And that transcript na your moka, your consultants maker. Now say no, we will now open a tender for publishers to bid to look at the printing aspect. Now you the distribution to the schools. And that is the first type of textbook production. And a buying or commission. Then we have the unsolicited, a private sector led. And the publisher ever approach it. It used to be before the new Ghana, the new Education Act, no. It used to be said they will approach the GES. But they say, we have a body called NACA, the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment. And if you have produced a book and now you're in the process of producing a book as an author and as a publisher, you are required by law, Ubenya approval. Once those are books that will be sold in schools, and now you expect our people and students will use those materials. You need to have prior approval. And Sana will marketing book for the book to find its way in the schools. Until you then will have to attach the manuscripts and a copy of the book for assessment. Into those are the two types of textbook development processes that takes place at the ministry. They are buying a commission and at the a free the private sector, which is the publisher or the author who owns the intellectual property for those materials.
I see. In the process, and yet better, sir, I idea you go through lots of checks as we go along.
Absolutely. I am very, very rigorous. Very, very rigorous. Because textbook production, as I said, meets a number of standards. Educating the curriculum and the syllabus, it must meet those standards. Because on to me, a P4 kit textbook na ABA a P1 for na so more kind and advanced. So those probably in SHS and so it must meet the curriculum and you must look at age appropriateness.
Yeah,
that is one. Number two, you also have to look at even the suitability, the teaching method, what they call the pedagogy. Is is it suitable at that kind of level? No, because at a particular level, no, a more practical instead of theory. It's more of a workbook. You make it interesting in terms of the exercises available in there, so that just about theory and a dense. Don't make it dense in terms of the density of text and all of that. Until you look at all of those technical requirements, then there's also the whole matter to do with the morality, consciousness of the environment, matters to do with ethics, matters to do with whether it's meeting appropriate standards, and offending obia. You are not slighting any group of people. Looking at sensibilities and all. It's a very, very rigorous process, which includes so many aspects. Over a year, as I said, you sometimes even the number of professions you bring to bear, linguistics will have to look at it, sociologists will have to look at it, sometimes etymologists will have to also come in, and then professional teachers, to look at the pedagogical side of things and all of that. Then you also come to the subject area, because we are a mathematics professor. Yes, you may know what the formulas are and all of that, but in terms of the other matters to do with even the appropriateness, age appropriateness, and when they should start teaching what and all of that, no, you may not necessarily be good at that. It's a multi-dimensional, and you have to include so many experts, people from various backgrounds, and then you put them together. Answer later, you then even look at those who will design it. Once the designing of the book soon, who will design a book for those at primary, those at pre-primary, those at second cycle, and those at tertiary. So it comes with different requirements, different standards. It's a whole complex process. It's not just about Yachiro Bibikeke, and we are going to town, we are looking at how much can be made out of it. It requires a multidisciplinary, more nuanced, approach in terms of the processes that lead to the final product that you call a text.
That's it. Mr. Blackwa, you share near Ababi, why your name, Yentana may be San say, Nami Pese, Brinbeka, walk us through the processes, as you know from experience. New Kwaya, how did we get here? Yeah, then be drew her. Yanyan say what the urgent question, parliamentary English, or the urgent question be to just say Education Minister Mrambe Yano. Now, urgent question has to do with new golden publication. Omode a chopa aba. Omo book bia a kasa ditia or sergeant for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah home. A san kasa editia. Generally will say before our Ghana the ever community. And watching to bedun cancer dear swa, I'll say history of Ghana. And also Okasatia people from the ever tribe. Now urgent question, then what do you seek to achieve?
Medase, share the text of my urgent question, if I have your permission to read it. I said to ask the Honorable Minister responsible for education whether the publications titled History of Ghana, Textbook 3 by Bedu Cancer Publications, authored by Bedu Cancer and Nellie Martinson Enim, and Golden English Basic 4, authored by Ochudesi Alexander, both of which contain bigoted content targeted at the ever ethnic group, have come to his ministry's attention. Were they approved by any of his ministry's agencies? And what steps government is taking to purge our schools and bookshops from offensive, divisive, and incendiary publications of this nature? And this is the tenor of the question. The text, Andra Minya confirmation says Speaker ad and it is in transition. the Ministry of Education. And because it's an urgent question, you're standing orders. Emma Kwan said, because it's urgent, the minister will have to respond urgently, as the name suggests. And if it was an ordinary questioner, it can take 3 weeks, sometimes even months, before it's responded to. But because it's an urgent question, we are quite optimistic this week, Minister Beba. And let me place on record, sir, one of the reasons why I chose this part, and it's who follow social media, who follow statements by Ebana, people were so incensed, people were so livid, sir. Even youth groups were emerging, and now a certain hashtag was trending, sir, ban the books, and people wanted to virtually take the law into their own hands, locate the books, ban them. Some were even looking for publishers, or more offices, or more premises, or more printing presses. And I thought, sir, that was dangerous. Yes, people are justifiably angry, legitimately so. We should use democratic, peaceful means to seek a resolution. Because Maya Juma or Minister of Education open, I know the role of the Ministry of Education in these matters. These are all agencies under the minister, and the minister takes ultimate responsibility. The buck stops with the minister. Using the opportunity of an urgent question, which is one of the tools available to MPs now, which is a very, very useful tool. Minister Nobeba, na Wababe responded, Wama the needed assurances. Fortunately, with question time, other MPs can also ask supplementary questions. After that, Speaker Suba to me, consequential resolutions. Na yenyina ya to me abwa ya purge it. First of all, if you look at my question, one of the things I'm seeking to achieve, and is that we should purge the system. Books, we should get them out of the system. Matisse publishers can say they don't know how we got to the market. They are claiming that they probably gave copies to teachers to read through, proofread, and a leaky. I don't think they are being honest in that regard, because Meme Suma, a research assistant, 3 of them to go to the market to look for these books, and they found them easily, no time, less than an hour. Now, Omuton books, Rollins Park, Accra Central Hall. Virtually all the bookshops they had it. That's where I got my copies, because Nami per se, confirmation. I didn't just want to follow social media, because who file a question, you must have basis. You don't want to be embarrassed. The question you have filed is it's unmeritorious. It was fake news, and you've chased the wind. And when I obtained these copies, and they paid, the 2 books cost 65 cedis, and I cannot believe the publishers will be claiming that they didn't know how it got to the market, and so they are not also profiting from their intellectual work, their intellectual property. And they didn't even raise alarm, they didn't report to the police, and they didn't mind that others were selling the books and making money out of their work, and they were not getting a share. It's difficult to appreciate. I'm expecting, sir, we will confront these matters honestly. Now, you better kind of crano. Now, you better improve on the textbook production process, because Chairman General, my kind the book, meaning is about 288 pages, and you ask yourself, even at that level, who compare with textbooks of that age category in other jurisdictions? Almost blended learning, coding, very useful. Even if it's about history, it's so rich, and it's celebrating their patriots. They don't present their patriots as dictators, and they don't present ethnic groups in light that would cause hate and bring division. And the whole book, and I will share even the tenses are the basic grammatical errors, and at the typos, virtually every page you see typos, left, right, and center. And it was just clear to me, sir, there's a certain shoddiness at play, and they did not engage the experts, because people say, oh, yeah, Bibina say you want to cut corners, you don't want to spend that. That is what happened. If they had engaged, consultants, the subject area experts, and they are there. We have them. This country, we don't lack intellectuals. We call your universities. They are there. You can use them because probably they will charge and their services don't come cheap. No? People just thought they could do some armchair production. But honestly, no, that is not a publication that should even have received the first stage approval which it received. And NACA too should come clean. I've seen some statements from NACA trying to distance themselves totally. No? Because documentation I made me work, NACA gave them first stage approval, especially the Bedouin Cancer publication. NACA had been in touch with these people. Indeed, NACA cannot claim, say, we know nothing, we didn't give them, yes, you didn't give them final approval, but you gave them first stage approval.
But Mr. Bibi, Mr. Blackwell, I like this portion about final approval and first stage approval. And I want to link it to the fact that while we say, okay, not typos, just mistakes in kitting womb. Okay, mistakes bebre womb. Is it not possible? Say yeka say yentri naka or yemblemi naka suka krano. Ye checking naka for website list of approved books and naka their tom website. Books be enim. 2. Is it not possible say bia ye momo as you refer to as first stage approval no corrections in branum. O man ko ye enom the books no akwa bonten. Is it not possible?
Yes, it is very, very
because we share Naka website, our books any as approved.
Yes, that's correct. That's what Mr. Macheki anyhow. That's correct. Internet maker say yes, I can confirm that there was no final stage approval. But I am questioning the first stage approval. So they did not deserve a first stage approval.
That is assuming they had first stage approval.
Yes, no, they had it because I have a lot of documentation to that effect. I can read one to you. 25th September 2020, National Council for Curriculum Assessment, textbook assessment report, publisher, they do in cancer publications, address WS169 SCC Accra, subject History of Ghana, key phase 2, book 1 to 3, author, they do in cancer and Nelly Martinson, a name, status of submission, dear publisher, your submission having gone through the first stage of the textbook approval process, TAP, was found to have satisfied most of the technical and content requirements. However, some work needs to be done to meet the expectations of the new curriculum. By this letter, we kindly advise you to update the material as per the attached comments and recommendations on the content for resubmission. We will furnish you with your summary assessment mark sheet after the technical assessment is completed within 2 weeks of the date of this letter. In response to the comments, please state the exact pages where the changes have been effected, preferably in a tabular form. See attached and resubmit for final approval. Counting on your cooperation. In Sefo Elijah, Mr. Acting Head Finance and Administration for Executive Secretary. Signed or no, or sign a document.
Fantastic. Until they had first stage approval.
It has first stage approval.
But mention
technical and content requirements.
And Pacho mention mra bedun cancer so apology not the buy, may kind just the third paragraph very shortly. It may corroborate near Okayano. Or say, I read, we received a response to application from NACA on 25th September, reference NACA/G14. The NACA raised concerns with portions of the book, even though they informed us that the book had satisfied most of the technical and content requirements. They, however, told us to work on certain aspects of the book further in order for it to meet the expectations of the new curriculum. Let's just say, first stage approval is corroborated also here. Now, let's just say, bedun cancer for no, I don't know how therefore say book rate be peer bunting. Yeah, ton one marketer. Yeah, a report says schools be so the books see a year juma. Do you think we should look for those schools, call them out? I mean, what do we do?
I would not start with the schools.
Because the book is not approved. Naka
Yes.
approve some we use.
Yes.
Eti ade na school bi beko akoto. Anasa ade nti na ebe ba market kwa ma ofu bi beko akoto abaneba.
Good. Into schools, especially the heads of the schools have questions to answer, no doubt. But in terms of the starting point,
Yeah.
I would prefer we start with the officials responsible, NACA and a Ministry of Education, because won't approve it. Now, so books where our system they are in our schools. In Tiana, you want the National Inspectorate Board, and we have the Ghana Education Service. And NACA and Kasano, Osho and Rana, they are supposed to go out there and to carry out periodic reviews and to supervise, make sure that the books being used in our schools meet the approved list. It will appear that people just left on the job. Or more monitoring, or more supervise it to make sure that the school system pure, and we do not have these books in the system, because as Imagine said, there are even many other books approved which have found their way in the schools, and it reflects a certain systemic failure, institutional failure. And I will want us to start from there. So, or more, as I said, or more, the gatekeeping role, or more ensure that the quality assurance processes are being followed, and people are in terms of school heads and teachers are abiding by the rules. It appears they were derelict.
Interestingly, Ostatika Sayanoka said hashtag BAPA, hashtag ban the books. And now the two just obesre say omo ban the books no. Memomo fasa route no. And Pacho, am I correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Volta Regional House of Chiefs, and so at the statement, I'm sure you've seen it. I'm not sure we deem it highly reprehensible for those responsible for this offensive publication to harbor such vile thoughts about their fellow citizens of Ghana in the 21st century. Omacho Chubiaka, their demands say they condemn this and they demand an unqualified apology from the authors and publishers. And no ewaha. Unqualified apology, which are Bedun Cancer, Apacho, Efaho, a new golden publication for so Apacho. Is it enough? And no. Nakasu dia two just said these books were not approved. Yanjin tum say a chopano, nekwan swano na yenye nakajuma send you say na yema asemnuncha. What do you suggest? What do you think?
My thing, and it's we need to get to the bottom of all of this. How did we even get here in the first place? Claire said, BB in terms of the whole textbook production process, because OSHA, the standards, the quality of textbooks are on the market. It leaves much to be desired. Until we need to investigate that and see how we can improve on the process so that young color a Dutch, young cause brain damage and just mass poisoning of our children. It's a very fundamental issue, as I say, peer person. Number two, the specific instance of this Bedouin cancer publication and the other one by Ochi Dave, we need to be honest. The earlier apology from Bedouin cancer doesn't appear to have gone down well. I think that they have to do better because a lot of them are not pleased at all. You notice they were not taking responsibility. You need one which these incendiary comments, these bigoted comments, one which in the publication, it didn't come from anywhere. And as a publisher, you take responsibility. They must take responsibility and apologize for that. Who come more apology now? with all due respect, they seem to be making excuses. Even the books get into the market, almost say they don't know how we found their way there. They are now going to investigate. But we know that these books were being sold, people were profiting from it, And if your books are being sold, people are profiting, they are in the schools, and you say you don't know, and you didn't think that you should report it and take steps to stop what was going on. You see, it doesn't. It's as if we are insulting our intelligence. It's a apology, no. Honestly, it's become an apology of an apology. They will have to issue another statement because the earlier one, Ankoye, the other one by the Ochibesi author, and I think it's well considered, and I think I will appeal to everybody to accept that apology. And they were more, if you like, responsible and sincere about it. They took responsibility, and I think it should be accepted in good faith. But the role of NACA in all of this, National Inspectorate Board, the Ghana Education Service, the Book Development Council, and the gatekeeping role clearly has become porous, which is why these books are finding their way into our markets and in our schools. No? We need to clearly look at that matter. Intiana Ebehiapa, the Minister of Education will have to respond to this urgent question. I'm more particular about the remedial steps, processes in terms of the policy reforms that we are embarking on to, as it were, correct this, to prevent this from recurring. It's very, very important. Now, when we also come to carry out the investigations into this, even that first stage approval of Munya, it will be interesting to see if NACA was able to identify all these, offending items in the publication and what they had told the publishers about it. That can be an internal process, which I think the ministry should do, so that moving forward, even if it reflects probably the need to beef up and engage probably more experts at NACA to be working to be able to protect all of us, that should be done. But when all of this is said and done, I think we should also use this opportunity to do a certain self-introspection as a country. And Chairman General, this point is very, very important. Also, for some time now, it will appear that consistently we are not taking nationhood very, very seriously. The way, as I said, we come together, we unite. And you are election, you are registration. You see the rhetoric, the political rhetoric. It's like you are targeting particular people. I don't want to cite example because I have said in these matters, when tempers are this high and all of that, I want to be part of the solution. I want to be a calming force. And we will rather speak in a way a bit further inflaming and a bit inciting for. But let all of these episodes give us an opportunity to tone down Kakra, and let's look at what brings us together. The bonding that should exist. Because, look, Ghana has been spared, but if you look all around us, from Ivory Coast to Nigeria, Rwanda, Burundi, we've seen the consequences of ethnic division and ethnic conflict. It leads to millions of deaths. And let's try and be conciliatory. Let's respect everybody. Let's value everybody's background. Be a war, the positives. And you can always decide to maybe tease a little or, but it shouldn't go as far as becoming insults and becoming, a certain, derogatory, if you like, strategy that makes a certain group of people always feeling excluded and left out. Because Chairman Kaya, this voter secessionist group, almost 30 or more agenda for secession, or some of us publicly opposed it and fought it publicly in the very, very early days. And they were citing some of these things. Now some of them are sending statements, sending messages, we told you, now you're fighting us and all of that. But it's still no excuse. As I say, we must come together. And we must even be working towards continental African unity. Because these artificial boundaries from the Berlin Conference created states are any viable. Togo, any population, Benin, Ghana, Ivory Coast. When we can all come together as one economic bloc. Look at how the Europeans have developed. And they learned all of those, integration theories from people like the Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah. And let us use this as an opportunity to mend fences, build bridges, and let us honestly admit, even when it comes to military deployments, during registration and all of that, all of those things have not helped, and is building a certain resentment so that we can get back on the path of nationhood, of national cohesion, where we can all come together and develop this country. Because honestly, it's just retarding our progress. Look, we don't need these divisions. We are all one people. We have a common destiny. And Obia, region Bia, contributed to the development. Can we take away Akosombo Dam, Volta River, from our development, what it has meant for our economic transformation as a people? The same way we can't take away gold. We can't take away bauxite. We can't take away diamond and all from all this, the smoke, timber, from virtually all the regions of Ghana contributed to
Mr. Blackwa, maybe so Asembako, the way you sound very calm and say Opache say yen kamum na yen say Ghana yen nadian. Me pese me bisao as a person, as a member of parliament for North Tongue, say, can we rely on you? Say you will be a calming voice amongst young people, especially amongst others, and also amongst communicators of your political party and young people of your political party and other young people. Esan is a memru ni bi ena epeja sadi ya wohwe nyomo ka wo social media, wohwe nyomo church nyomo kekenka. Asa ye dia manyosem abem ena mebunu bi nso ai free from mantem ena epia sadi we. You say why penny, but we are mebunu nche. Can we rely on you as a leader of young people? Say ubedi animo ne wakasa ni one na enkabom aba echin say dede no ne ntokwape no. Can we?
Oh, absolutely, you can, and I make that pledge. And to me, I confirm it, sir. Because I know the threats. One of my masters is in security and international defense. The consequences and how this can really degenerate. It just needs a little spark. One year now, I say, I've been in touch with them. And draw now bend the books because they just went and addressed the press and then they left. I told them that the scenes of burning say and you don't know what it can even lead to, and this claim say you should share publishers offices and all. I said no, they should forget about all of that. Unfortunately, some of the leaders of those youth groups, they say Adam Agbana is my own protege. Since he was SRC president at the University of Ghana, I'm well pleased in him. Very dynamic young man, the deputy national youth organizer of the party, and all the others in the various groups. Fortunately, and they. I just last night I even put out a post commending them for the respect they showed to me and listening to me and backing down on the threats to burn down books and to locate the offices and all of that. And they're giving us 14 days to see how the parliamentary processes will go. And I said, it's fine, it's okay. I'm confident we can work together on this matter. Fortunately, now Honorable Dr. Ebuchun, the Minister of Education, was in Ho for the post-budget workshop. Until we didn't discuss it here, we had a one-on-one, and we strategized how we can work together. Because he's also very upset. He was even saying that it doesn't look like now we even have real publishers in this country. The standards are falling so low. And he's also committed to the process, and he is appreciative of the kind of approach I'm adopting. And I think that is the way to go. I can assure you, sir, way is not inflammatory passion. There's an explosion. You don't know who will escape this. We may all not survive it. Yeah. And there is no need. There's no need to incite people and to, as it were, feed on the pain. People are genuinely hurt, and we must be soothing. We must be calming. We must assure them that we will get to the bottom of this. And you never know, sir. Ebiana, even the people who are behind these things. There's a few agents provocateurs who don't even wish Ghana well. Mm-hmm. They don't wish Ghana well, and they will want there to be an explosion. So we must put them to shame and work together and just resolve this matter once and for all. And I can make that pledge and that commitment to you, sir. We will be part of the solution, because we shouldn't escalate matters further.
I'm very deeply grateful. Medasi Papa Panu Adaji Anopene, your insights you've shared on this matter. Pacho, sir, if there's a need, I best samba. Na ya to asankomo so one Ghana as always.
Absolutely.
Medasi P. Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa Yemrashe Bedweni Ewo NDC Akunya so Emma Northton Anopei and Koma Yenena Chichino Eja Ochemi Minima Semka Mwasuma. But let me read this one because it's a paid-for advert. It says, the management of New Golden Publications, a fully owned Ghanaian company that produces education materials for learners, would like to apologize to the Ministry of Education, National Council for Curriculum and Assessment, NACA, Ghana Education Service, and the general public for any inconveniences created on page 36 of Golden History of Ghana Textbook 6. We wish to inform all our stakeholders that we do not intend to tarnish the image of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of the Republic of Ghana. We also wish to apologize to the entire Ghanaian ever community for any problem created by a portion of the English textbook for Basic 4. We have no intention of providing information which appears to have negative effect on the integrity of ever people. Please accept our apology. Meanwhile, the materials are being sent to NACA, an agency responsible for textbook and other educational materials for pre-tertiary educational institutions for assessment and review. Again, all efforts are being made to withdraw all the textbooks in circulation from the market with immediate effect. Once again, we sincerely apologize for any harm caused. We also wish to assure Ghanaians that we will not repeat any of these things again. And is signed by Mercy Ja Adiya, Deputy Director. Time check, Peace 104.3 Anope. It's about 20 minutes to 10 o'clock by the studio clock. And Anope, managing editor, Inside Newspaper, Kwesi Pratt Jr. Nana Kumia Ewaha Anope. And of course, budget and matters arising. But of course, let's look at this thing about textbooks and emu and comma. Kwesi Machibium Anope Akwaba. Yeah, that's it. Nana Mache.
Kwame, major super.
And the chocolate, Amba.
This is what she.
Hey. No. Kwesi. Everybody drop for your website. Because everybody drop for your website.
Next week, so chairman say jogo.
In fact,
next week on Zanka.
There be more exercise more. More exercise power. Now I'm saying Kwesi that I had a anyagumi guy.
Tra video na fa send.
Me the best send papa. Best send the copy to Kwesi. Now Kwesi will say I'm trying to bend the chocolate out of the system. Kwesi, sir, publication. See what do you make of it? Yes.
Masa no crepe Woma omutro sangoma no. Woma ha oman Ghana yi pa. Sanse bufu a abaye mamu ha no. Ene bufu kitwa. Na bufu no so aba no so no. Ewo njina so. Den ena akwotro ngoma. So emfantre embebu na de. Na ngoma na wo kwakwotro so emfantre embebu na de no. Ghana mamu ha. Tribe baako. Wudi wo fe wo gu omo anim asesa. What is the basis of that? There is no basis for that. Sabio tafra chanya adom. Masa, nyansa bi anim. Eyade hadwene ye papa enni se ibisi bebia. Na book baako no Golden History of Ghana. Ano me kind portions of it na masa me yam hyehyɛ me. Sa book no mo no mo echotro nkruma ho nsam. Anya nkruma pe o. Obi a wo ye CPP ni bi agye ne chefa. Atem didie ni ade. Enya fe emoayen. Na me ni ha me ni se masa kwa me se utu kwan a Who said nipa bi ti se Kwame Nkrumah no. Womu bua pa, womu maaman no, womu man, sikasem, womu bua yi pa. Mi tu kwango Kokrokoo bi so wo Asia. Womu mampani a odi kan. Ebra na okọ ye wo no nga, empa ne to so esi ho, enkofo twiska kohwe. Atria na edima na duane ewo ho mankofo kutwiska kohwe onam jeno major tourist attraction some penny no ondu Kwame Nkrumah de ne stature kra fa ondu Kwame Nkrumah stature kra fa enne in spite of all the reforms e koso wo China na ade ukọ Beijing na Red Square be hu nipa wo asalai why ye ma ye tieska kohwe multitude and so o man bia wo man pani odikan wo mu ebo ne ho ban aye nneoma ebebo man no sikasam mana kod na chi and so but Kwame Nkrumah kra de ene na tse wo no kra de wo yeso nkokra mi hu ebibiri ha Africa ha ba bia wo be kwa monument be in his honor. Okomalia, the biggest statue in Mali, Kwame Nkrumah. Kogini, Kobebi. Now saying one many Dr. Yao Graham nominee Ademi call Kenya. They call World Social Forum. Kwame.
Yes.
Call World Social Forum or Kenya. Now the World Social Forum no nipa ta kopa anti airport why beja me who immigration officers no ya who say Ghana for ye ginatri line naturally ho baby ana oba o say mu Ghana for say he made us jump the queue
because you're Ghanaians.
No, because we come from Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana. This is recent. This is about 10 years ago.
That's not recent, Chrissy. 10 years is a long time. Okay, I'm guys. Last month was the last year.
Kwame said, "Many Africa. 10 years is not such a long time in my life."
Well, you have a point there, but
he made us jump the queue and so on. Na yes, seno, yes, said there, seno. Na ne have me cry and say, a woman." Embebunu ne ade besua ewo school no enya ankra adwuma ayo mamuni na adwuma o na me che no o mamuni na adwuma aban asede aban dwumafo ene hwe sa de no enti so hwe emramu a hwe 1992 constitution na de na it does not allow for discrimination against any section of our society. No state institution can campaign against a political party. No state institution is allowed to campaign against a political party. Na anɔpɛ wuni yɛnua a friend saying Sami
Okujeto
Ablakwa ɛkasa no. Ɔkyerɛkyerɛ de mu ebu kakra. Ɔman adwuma a ɛwɔ ma sɛdeɛ sɛ saa nwoma no ɔmbɛhwɛ na ɔmama approval na de take a first approval.
Based on say omunkai corrections being bra.
Do we know the corrections they recommended?
So we'll find out.
It will be interesting to find out the corrections they recommended.
We'll find out.
In any case, sa book no kwa minim so aka bia.
Now, David.
Say all kind sa book ni bia. First approval you should not have had it. At all.
As you said,
yes,
let's find out what first approval means.
It should not have had first approval. Apart from the offensive pages near the end, a DNU anum I before that term, the DCP before term, the DQAB Krumata, apart from those Nankasangazano. So, book no grammatical errors near
Could you to mention it?
Exactly.
Is it not possible, Kwesi?
Yes, sir.
Say, yeah, my first approval, and you say, Monkonko grammatical errors, Monko correct it. Now, we saw offending portions if it is possible. Inti yen train chance I can say this
publication first approval and says you've met a certain basic standard. Now, how could this book have met that first basic standard?
Well,
so how are they brain? And right area and I'm who Volta Regional House of Chiefs statement or more. So when you be a can. Apart from that, Oko social media near Kosununya, M1 Ghana Kanko, M1 Kanko cry. Meanwhile, no, Kwame, you how be or hodada, ye gusua, ye pequania, be fasua, a better in your man, and could ye my kakra. You know the problems in the Volta region. Homeland study group, now. Debia near Soja Gum. Debia near Soja Gum. Are they Indian high? What is wrong with us? As a book with the sub book in the Labraca, and trade ye cry, and trade ye, and your book as yes, so cry, and trade ye cry, and wagana mine, and why nara, and where be mine cry. Now, when you're gonna from pedal before, winning the other community, no, and any Ghana happy. There was some other countries and so on. You understand? Kwame Nkrumah, Ghanaian historical personality. He has worldwide acclaim and so on. Yeah, no maybe sir. Yeah, ye kakra. Now with it, and trade ye cry, and trade ye cry, and ya papa.
Yeah, you bet me actually a rare. Say, so called Naka website to swear. Approved books I tried, you know. Sa books in him. Is it a source of comfort to us?
No, it is no source of comfort at all. Kwame, I said, they gave an approval to it. Conditional approval.
Conditional?
Yes.
But final approval never came.
Yes, but they gave conditional approval to a book like that.
Two.
Master, apart from the fact that woman conditional approval, the books are in the bookshops. It's so easy to get.
Good. No.
Presbyterian Book Depot area or bookshops now holding.
Yes, Rollins Park area holding. Yeah.
Exactly. So holding.
I don't know to Black Wakasa or Sumamia Kotobi.
Book no free bonto.
Until we should take the publishers on. And your mom could tell what they call.
And our publishers, that's some more can toss and toss you cry. No more can say, what would your moon distribute to book no more there. A first copy be a and so book ya printed a manual bookshops library and no accidental and I said be a publisher now printed by a Numa and also Habia or the air quaquadia approval and so on. The book has been printed in large quantities. And that's more can be and Thomas Mukra and never dead me ditum and ye alabraca.
Nana, what is it?
You Kwame.
Yes, sir.
Me that's it. Never na binya, some na binya penny, Kwesi. I can't ye. Pina minin yatring.
Okay.
O tien seminar a war book number. untimi ntiasie se book se 2 pages put na kuta sansemi na efa yenwanu mai before ho se 2 pages po out of 200 pages and a sansemi woman sa book na say a man of first approval say approval process no say first to 3 and say unya bi kra so I say a tree nya dream eba say approval process no sign it. Well, now before approval process, say what the CBB did NACAP, GES, Ghana Education Service, and why. But just we don't can approval process no. But before approval process no pono, nipa natural booking no. Now you're from publishers, you're from Bedun Cancer.
Bakuye Bedun Cancer, Bakuye Golden Age, New Golden Age.
Now we'll show almost statements, almost year Juma more than 20 years.
Yeah.
Ne nipa mo say Juma 20 years abitwem. Not just a more processor. And yes, we'll be adding the book by yes, na kumya the book abanti, ye ko print it. Because printing or publish a book a investment. Into bia so kwame o the book abeye kwabi do atron book dia ye better skabeba but still no be book no. Enti nipa amoye publishers for over 20 years. Mo wo nipa e be review book. Bibia wo di beba se mo publish mo fa mo sika and shame na mo nya printing na mo binding na mo nya distribution mo be review book no ya mo be on first draft second draft kohabra ha third draft process ben and as our publishing house here from Bedun can say omo femo sa book timi free publishing house Bedun Cancer publishers ekokodu naka Momosomoma first approval September 2020. How? Book as semi what a book him. Say nipa a whole group of people. Now would describe one kwanya ya fast would describe one book no. How say okra obitron bibisa just say essay cry collabitron essay work class 3 not the way bad teacher no debene so yakola obekache yakola no na adult na publishing house investment business na Ghana a NACA national institution the timia fem enti esi a full inquiry. Wow. Se Bedun Cancer no omo ye publishing house worth their sorta. So omo ye inquiry how omo ankasa book file omo review process.
Omo systems no.
E could do printing, my printed drafts. E de call NACA and Ghana Education Service. Ghana Education Service in Sono. Nipa kukudama de man secretary amuka. Na mo so mo atena ho no mo man yes first approval book way na Bedun Cancer no so no book ma full approval e den na book no ton book no egiska as a textbook
mpa je se nyomo no mo ton ye ho na asem no omo ne new golden age publishers ni omo say enyomo no mo ton en so se ne okuje to black can but ye the mo books ton ko nti monte say ye ton mo books anko for the yeska
say mo ken say kwa me wa nim say nto asum book wa publish book no printing house wa printing now just a copies now they call nakano and no be a year or ton ana Sana mo chance engine di say because what printed books now the copies called naka say any review na approve and non buy omuma first stage when sesenke do ho but to they do ho but unya final approval deɛ na ɛkɔ market wo sɛ nyɛ wo na de kɔɛ na kyɛ sɛ na de kɔ naka sɛ ɔmo nhwɛ mu na ɛno bi na obi de kɔ dwa so sɛ ɔtɔn ɔnti ɛyɛ unfortunate sɛ baabi a yɛdu wɔ obroni friend of nation sɛ na baabi a yɛdu a yɛpɛ sɛ yɛsi deɛ ɔmaa no si hɔ yi 64 years after independence na obi a wotwerɛ book na yɛde atete nkɔ Ghanafoɔ nkɔlaa including Aigbefoɔ nkɔlaa na wotwerɛ wei fa ɔmo ho so ɛyɛ ade a ase fam na ɛnyaba yɛnyɛ full inquiry. It's in the interest of the Ghana Education Service so be a full inquiry. Na saa inquiry no to should go to Bedum Cancer how almost approval process ben wo I timi pass book ya medical do printing. There's almost no independent inquiry ehwem. Sene be ya obi a publish a book and or printed book almost on be fa ho on be fa kokɔ ɛwɔ ho. It's serious. Very, very serious. But when you be a fatty be necessarily wrong, it be a date here 1952, wako 1951. Where there a whole group of Ghanaians.
Yeah.
Now dio matem it boom nim tiase at time. Na me de ba kon kakra me yanso ne say. Sena now ne a yenua kuja token. I shall not say I'm yourself.
I started Yaman yourself.
Yes, you. Yes, you. I'm people for the shots here. I'm on peg before I said, Kohabraha. Time percent. I think the mammy be so could towards the end say, you beat me, I count you on him. Make them make crowd and me party, me percent, me party. Be issue statement. Condemning publication and calling for a full inquiry. And in fact, if all political parties put the issue statement, na Ghana for who say, ya drink up and chrome against sa near a bed. Describe a group in Ghana in those terms because you didn't send people in Shada in ya votes war voter region, but yeah, they are still.
You have a sitting MP from the.
We have a sitting MP. The regional minister is an NPP, for example. The district chief executives are NPP. Well, and yet the party, I believe, we should come out with a statement condemning Esino. Now, all the political parties should be united and condemn Esino, and then the full inquiry should take place. The processes that NACA or GES processes now what be doing cancer a book itimi call printing machine.
But Obisu Bisa say, why couldn't a true book in the first place? For Bedun Cancer to even think of publishing it and new golden publications. Who wrote the book?
So I thought no omo body dio.
Author ne.
Am say sam kuja to boni di ana. Author no minti di ni da so nyo bia. But kwa me cry there. Na history of Ghana so no. History of Ghana 64 years no. I think never shown book for.
That's an interesting question.
No, I mean, it's a Ghana Education Service. More person mu chere Ghana history. Chere Nkolawo school. I think I'm much on new textbook. I know more inviting the person much on new textbook for Ghana history near Nkola. And now time I work class 4, class 5 now in Ghana history. So not textbooks were. I am for assembly my their pass here exam to edit here. and Sakra Nawako University professors no ma betwema Ghana history. Keke.
I make sure say your research every day to be a new ideas be.
Yeah, but new idea be
new developments.
New idea be anim. Why? Say bibi wo ho a yen kan ho asem. No say oh be new fact until o ka say yen bi that is a new fact bi na wo hwehwe. Area bi a yen hyede ni ho nim de. To so na mon ko hwehwe na mon fa research papers in money bit me. Na say obi
that ya.
There are some they call me yeah. But then yaba. I see a taking remedial I between there as well. Now yeah, you moment see a trauma so me a trauma so. Never ya in CBM.
But we know asuchi ben sa.
Oh.
Blacklisting the publishers.
Never.
Heads must rule.
Kwesi dem put an hour cano. Demonizing an ethnic group, it goes against some law.
Yeah.
It goes against some law. Even demonizing an individual. An individual, if you write something demonizing an individual and so niswa, and a can be prosecuted. Now a whole group. Yeah. Proper investigation into the process it at Bedun Cancer, the process it at Naka Ghana Education Service. Say punishment do it's media baby as
2 minutes past 10 o'clock, Peace 104.3, Nana Komiani Kwesi prior to her. Kofaros in Tema says the thought of people denigrating Nkrumah simply frightens me to death. The only black man around the world who brought respect and relevance to the entire black race in his time. See how we still destroy him for personal reasons. The CIA calls him the original political thinker. Even the French legend Charles de Gaulle calls him his biggest challenge in Africa. But when you come to Ghana, the UP won't leave him alone. Even long after his death, may God forgive us. Kufarus in Tema. This one Anakumia said he was afraid of that it will become politicized. How is it a material, even the work of a good writer? So he woke up, sat behind a computer, and decided to write this unfortunate piece with a hope that it will be given to students to read and later write as part of an exam. We just have to give thanks that as a people in this country, we have a way of giving way to common sense. Because if this had happened in any other country, we may have a different conversation on radio today. Kwame Bedun Cancer Pa, 20 years of publication, and you allow this to ruin your hard work? Annie, but I guess for those of us in the public space, it is our responsibility, as I've told somebody privately this morning, to continue to preach what unites us more than what divides us. Into the publication, interestingly, Messi Ja Adiya is the author of History of Ghana for Basic 6, published by Golden Publications. Messi Ja Adiya and a Troy. Now, Messi Ja Adiya no also and a signee as deputy director with the apology from New Golden Publication. So, Messi, your name is Messi. Sad, isn't it? Anyway, we'll leave it there. My man personalizing and also Uncle Fabi before Amba. Clearly, the content of the book has been said. It is not encouraging and must be condemned. But let's also not to be too sensational about it. It may fuel tribal problems for us all. I also agree Nkrumah is and was a great man. And but tell my brother Kwesi Pratt, he shouldn't make Kwame Nkrumah Jesus Christ. Sasa Yoyate. I'm sure you know where I stand when it comes to Nkrumah. I've always said that for me, he remains my hero, even though I agree that my hero had his problems as a man. But anyway, has government of Ghana stopped procuring textbooks for school pupils? Why can't government assemble subject experts to develop these textbooks for distribution to pupils to avoid unwarranted problems? Teacher entry, Kwamo. Teacher, well, that is what government tried to do through NACA, GES, and the rest. And now we so I confirm. Kwame, my child in Tamale International School Primary 4, the school recommended Golden English 4 for them So they shouldn't tell us that the books are not approved. Musa Raphael in Tamale, that is the question. The school approved the book, but did NACA approve it? Indeed, we should also look at these schools and the books that they ask you parents to buy. You see why we need to condemn people who insult our leaders and propagate ethnic and tribal sentiments? If we don't see ourselves as one people, these things will keep going on, not only in the written forms, but on our media platforms. Let us all stand up and condemn tribalism. Abeku Wilson, Savannah, USA. Abeku, you know where I stand, right with you there in the battle. Teacher Kofi Nungwa says there are a lot of fake books on the market which have not been approved, yet they are being sold. So Asukujetua Blackwell says, let us go out there and be more proactive. The publishers have to be called to Parliament to answer questions. I also think that as the first approval, they omitted those pages and probably later fixed them for the open market. Well, Nyame Godfather inside in Swam. We have to punish these historians and publishers of the book. These are the kind of publishers that can be heartless and erroneously publish books concerning Let us sit up. This must be a trial with the intention of publishing other books. Master Planner Junior Kintampo sends that one. Such publishers must be banned from publishing in such subjects for life. Secondly, new facts must come from historical research. Nana Usu Atonsu. So where are the Ghana history books written by F.K. Boa, Abekwin Lashibi? Let me also add Basil Davidson, Edubuahin. Well, I read Edubuahin, and later a bit of F.K. Boa. Sabu Sinyana and Nakumiaka, and so we read them and passed the exams with them. Nti se yenom ne old school. New facts ben now bentia, we need to publish new books. The apology from the publishers is just close one eye, open one eye. Now, can you believe my friends refer to me as F.O. Walanyo, no longer Mr. Walanyo? What do you think will be the perception? Well, very soon people start calling F.O. Kwame. Don't worry, Walanyo, there are people call me F.O. Kwame already. If this had happened in the UK, the manager of the company would have resigned long ago. Heads would have rolled. Leo in London. Kwame Sefaka, it's important to tell you that the educational tourist attractions for students in general have different narratives by different escorts on different occasions. Especially one tourist attraction is known to be in existence right after Noah's Ark. Andrew Intema, I'm trying to figure out what exactly you're taking me on this matter. These same publishers made a heinous mistake against the people of the OT region by ascribing the Ewe as the ethnic group in the region. Several attempts were made by the JCC, and other stakeholders to correct it, but it fell on deaf ears. Now they see their real size. Nyankopon Etiomuka, Victory Lelabi, Likpe Mate in OT region. If the writer's name is really Mercy, may God also have mercy on her to rethink. Godwin in La Paz. Ghana at 64 pioneer, not in Dansoman. Well, yes, indeed, Ghana at 64. Quite sad, isn't it? Richard Ndomi says, you just said people will use this for politics, but you're aiding it by reading such political link. Richard Ndomi, so I also stand guilty. Forgive me. When you're doing this kind of job, it's a balancing act. I will say, so that we know the thinking of others, and if possible, we correct as we go along. If you find offense, fetch me why. I am of ever infantile origin, as you well know. My father is a renowned doctor, and as you know, a former army officer. He served this nation well. He was lambasted and maligned by Peng as a stooge of then Kutu Champong, who would allegedly treat his political opponents, and he goes on and on and on. Where were these same people when free press publication was ship-bombed? Anyway, Kaka, let's leave it here. I've had my private conversations this morning with other people, and I catch you be say me say no. Barracks boy. We lived amongst Burma camp was a melting pot. Obia free baby a frafra kobo. So when you send a question frafra kobo. Unfortunately, Some of you may not have had the experience. Some of us were fortunate to have. But even then, there were undercurrents. Let's continue to build what unites us more than what divides us. It's very, very important. Obi Bisami said, what does FO mean? Well, FO simply means uncle. I mean, as a wafa. But the way it's captured in the book, and I'm on a different meaning. Kwesi, any other comments on this matter? If you mean call budget, I'll take your comments on budget. Any other comments, and then Anakomi, and then we'll wrap up and go and live our lives.
Master Kwame William say, a man for chill more drink. Na na adwene yakọ benkro na me hu se enkofo bebre wo ho a omo de ne hia won ne atendidi a yedi adidi yenuanom agbefo na asa anwrafo no eno na ha won pa na ehia pa so se ibetimu aka se ade a eye oman ne de no yemfa nyama nyosam se ati hei me as an individual, between us and many Kwame Nkrumah and as between us and many Dr. K. Buzi and Yadring, on them chair and so on. As an individual, have a right so to do. Now, once we start working for the state, we are stopped from doing that. The state should not be promoting any particular political party, its programs, and its history. Okay,
Biswa Kachem say Efo could even mean brother. Okay. Michael Jojoji Akbenalo. Thank you. Yes, Kwesi.
Masa, usi yanka budget no asem. Embrede wo honu sha emaye.
Intienda mka say any other business may even be better. By the way, since we are doing the things that unite us, no, let me say that the first female Brigadier General of the Ghana Forces is an ever. If it is that there's anything to be proud, the first Obawa Ghana Armed Forces history ma, or you have 1-star general. If you vote region, Brigadier General Constance Ama Emefa Ejani Afenu. Say unim actress Akofa Ejani and the older sister.
Yeah.
Or your Brigadier General, 1-star general. Madam
for power.
Oh really?
15 years.
I think she's out of 15 years. I'm sorry, or you and say I think so. Let's promote the things that unite us. Why? Kwesi, any other comments? Sorry.
Budget, no. But
okay, and yeah.
Was it?
Oh, me say, Ebia, I'm reading you. Say, oh, dear, be a Friday.
Opening. I'm saying budget in the State of the Nation address. I mean, it goes together. Na adia ewumu a say ye na emfaso wo so pani sa national ID card numbers na edibe driving license edibe national health insurance edibe state pension number near them Kwame so as we started culture what can be makabi penifo bebre akekabi so kebeya Kia one national ID card would ye be a senior who come on here a year no. Now ya can affide ya jatu. Adia hameka crane say, Amphida. A brother be voters ID card in the Okaya. A dem higher casa kebeya. Kayan Trenso, the card back.
Yeah.
Yentie yasem ya yakobo hoka and the sambre na mu no so national health insurance so akoye card for front and it is a card na boy no so yeti asem embripe mu a kebia ke amosa aka no now so you say pamno twa no nkwanchen sro do
Empacho, quick one.
Yes, sir.
Minya correction. Brigadier General Ejani is presently the Deputy Force Commander of the United Nations Mission for the Referendum in Western Sahara.
Oh, okay.
She's a Ghanaian, she's a woman, and she's a general. She's one of our own. Inti Brigadier General Ejani is presently the Deputy Force Commander of the United Nations Mission for the Referendum in Western Sahara.
Nasa me kofa mu ho na me nim se.
And you unipa ho.
Kofa fa desert no so kakra na me so she ho. Anyway. Kwame, nti na me kan say ya depa ache yentie ya sem ntem. Nanso yentie ya sem.
Obi see me fan council called Wesley Girls. You Wesley Girls before yate. Kwesi, let's get down to the business. Yes, sir. Sorry, send me the
Oh, master, no problem. So, them had your warning. If I say
Chairman General. But some Muslim man you.
Master, you just to me the Juma. I'm say, Rebecca say, a yara. Now, a normal bakum you and some year 9 be happy. Ne hame pa ne oman ni sika sam sene aircon. Opening.
Yes.
Anya me na make wo. Ya ye nia eye owura edubu ahin. Would the Deputy Minister of Finance.
Former Deputy Minister of Finance.
Deputy Minister of Finance. Okay, so they are saying me the truth. Say Ghana, ufa yentoboa, total national revenue. Now they are checking the grants in the almost 90% of that. The servicing of debts and debt repayment. I mean, my beer ni we say ha. Or what's that to be any more bit we are chumpo. It's just a uchiya obusia, na uchiya si unwa obusia no hoa. So we see can 10 cities na ka 1 city, and never catch it. Na sa 10% no. And one ye di koya kwai. Minia. And one and ye di ekopen super ama Ghana for no. And one ye di be kanea. And one ye di be bridge. And one ye di be she kuayomu ne ade.
Kwesi patro mentia so say 10% of them.
Close to 90% of total national revenue plus grants.
Sir, we're sure.
Yeah,
absolutely sure.
Emoluments, debt servicing, interest. Account. David, account. Please go back and check. Or say debt servicing, interest payments.
No.
Okay, I'll pull the story for you.
Yes, I'm absolutely sure of what I'm saying. Close to 90%, the debt servicing.
Check your whole year.
I am absolutely sure.
Which is a 90% of our national revenue.
Plus grants.
Goes into debt servicing.
No, debt servicing and debt repayment.
Yes.
90%? About 90%. 80 to 90%.
No.
Yes.
I doubt.
Okay.
Kwame, more producers in check if he gets
no problem. We will check it.
It must be about 30%.
30? No.
30 days, sir.
30%. Pacho. Nana, 1976.
Mom, check it, man.
History kakra. 1976. We were spending 2/3 of total national revenue on debt servicing. 1976. And then check the figures.
Makwame check it, man. 90%. That is then we don't just a 10% for everything else.
We are in trouble. We are in serious trouble. But master, I know you know. Ubeka yenya setekwe. Ubeka ya.
Minim ne pa.
Yenya setekwe so ebra no di finance minister no. Ono se ka sem bi tire. Say about 2/3 of total national revenue. 2/3 total national revenue goes into the payment of public sector workers alone.
Almost 70%.
Almost 70%. Payment of public sector workers alone. So some way, Ubekaya, Yenya can operata, or also the sea say the portion of national revenue a call into payment of public sector workers no, was almost the same as the Tekwe had revealed, and so on. And so offer payment of public sector workers. Now for debt servicing and debt repayment. Now Kabo Mwa. You're always running a deficit. You two gutter. You see school dying. You see hospital. This is the state of the national economy. It is a cassava national economy. Let us start from this basis. Say, I son a baby people near the Canada. That is the state of the national economy today. No, a crime ben so any a far. It be free sir or how you Masa, independence are ya say ya far who did know. What was the purpose? Masa media, it had only two purposes. Say young Kasa Putokasem, it had the power to choose our own leaders. Basic democracy. Power to elect our own leaders. You understand, Kanino? Now we couldn't choose our own leaders. So Ghana Bakosem Moa. They could do Pempensobia, not the chief executive crowd, not any appointed the chief executive, Queen of England, and appointed the chief executive. Now, no, and you're penny for a kind. One year or more, so Ghanaians could choose their own leaders. That was one leg of the independence struggle. Second leg of the independence struggle was that we fought to be able to own our own resources and to exploit those resources for the benefit of the people of Ghana. Two legs. Now, and then we share Ghana 64 years after independence. Your resources being your control. Your resources being and they exploit it for the benefit of the Ghanaian people.
Mamin Kain Charles Edubuahin very quickly, just a small portion. Yes, quoting Charles Edubuahin from My Joy Online, I'll say, quote, "This is the first year that interest expense or payment will exceed compensation as the single largest item on the budget. Out of the 70 billion CD domestic revenue, about 35 billion is for interest payment. So that is exactly 50%. About 30 billion is on compensation. So if you add the two, that is 65 billion. And that eats up your whole 70 billion in domestic revenue. So a now kambomwa.
But there's something else you're not adding.
Which one?
Debt repayment. If you can find the figure for debt
repayment. Okay. 35 near interest payment. Interest payment and debt.
Interest payment and as debt repayment.
But you're paying
on
the canon.
So you have interest payment and you have debt repayment. They are two different things.
Okay. Anyway,
yes,
but he's quoting an interview with Joy.
On same Edubuahin.
Pardon?
Same Edubuahin.
Yes.
Charles.
I was quoting an interview with Daily Graphic.
Okay, no problem.
Yes. I
no
know
sweat.
What I'm talking about.
Is
it not frightening?
So
50% of your total national revenue goes into debt servicing. Now debt servicing is such a repayment. This is even more frightening, Masa. Masa, asema mi bisa a edi bisa ne se. Enti your resource ben and a yankasa your control now exploit it for the benefit of the Ghanaian people. Asem we ya kan dem ka me be ka bi mu kra o mati say. Masa, the gold industry. Total Ghanaian interest in the gold industry is estimated at 3% so far. Total Ghanaian interest. If you compare that to a champ on time, a 55% minimum. And then they are be do 3%. Masa, Nyanya kra omu ne sa foreign exchange retention agreement na any mining companies na kosign. It's mining companies no. Sometimes they have a right to retain as much as 98% of the total value of gold exported from this country abroad. A better day and the economy and how we move here. It's immediate. If you don't get to the stage where we control our national resources, if you don't get to the stage where the national resources are exploited for the benefit of the Ghanaian people and so on now, but I could be a maker main canicus because I'm reading here. Master, make kaipa 2014, 2015 ho kwa me shows also be kaipa.
Can I mean here's a maker?
Yeah. His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Okay, ni sembi okay.
Bebro yamudi.
No okay say. Master, nia okay say. Instead of taxation, we should use production as a means of mobilizing resources for national development.
True that.
Okay. Now, and then production, production now is a better option than taxation, and then the taxes are pejaba. Taxes are pejaba. I say production should be. Ana yeni aba akokra de na some kind say I can say ye taxes ye taxes ni ye bobo se nko ade a ko no ani ba wa 16 years old kra ko beti ye di o man pani yeni aba akwase mo kan no
ha na ka say
oh mansa onkai kwa me ya nyesa we also kai
men kai tina mi bi se no
onkai yeni aba oslo usu
okay say ne ba di 16
or say taxes nkwani a friend saying loans nkwadi a ka 16-year-old crabby to be president. Intende ekobani saying ya bobusi abo yeti ya ka say ya bobo e ho akodi another $5 billion busia ade. What happened to the beautiful theory about production as a means of mobilizing resources? Satire nam Dubai. Or what did that move? Now you make Kenya satire His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia only be Kenya. And the satire na fahifa. Me see me tiasia eniye. Nami nchade Kwame wo adwuma wa ya che. Chairman General adwuma wa ya che.
Nyame adom.
Wa ya che. Into what it is petroleum price politics petroleum price politics no me kai 1999 to 2000 ade ye ni krom ha about petroleum pricing me kai empenifo kuku dama no mo sukufu gallons ade ko parliament me kai ade ye ya masa fisambre ne befimunde. Why not be beautiful apart from what Jerry Rollins was doing in the 1990s? Ya hochiri ya ne to Buana got 2 petrols to say boom. A free December bepimune. Yen 2 petrol mukra and pre 9. Meboa. And then what kind of Ubon criteria? Taxi drivers indeed them, tractor drivers indeed them, passengers indeed them, and so on. I'm say a miracle. I say if you pa, it's a petroleum prices, no. Massa, it affects everything. A cabi biara, a capubuding, a cadishia, a campuntu, a cabi biara. It is one thing. I see a share near ye, near to 2 years, and a bear, and for how the dubia emre Ghana manfo. Now, but could be sure better hold on, Massa. Nukreni na dream ho mintimi ntiase ye ebia me ntiase na enkwachire na kwa mfapa miti wo musuku Ya ye wura wo fi a ne de be si abonten. Na zoom lion for no abefa ekọ. Busumi so a obu bra e bill am yetua. Bola enye free. Utu ball wo sua bola no kura free fie na akọ bola so a. Ukohwe gu a eju sika. Enti bola na enye free. Enti bola tax no so free hefa. So say na say me fie me yewura o me fie na me se abonte a zoom line for me charge me bi mu ana. Ana zoom line for me charge me so me fan bola. Me wiasa masanso ko try to board their face so ana. Somebody must explain something. Somebody must be explaining something. Because if you checker, ebia mo motitititi monti musuku no miti musuku. Ona mchero mi musuku na mtie. Enti emofra no ya omo kokohwe bola gu a metiti mi ekwaso. Fa kokohwe bola na gu no kra no utiaka. Zumla me fa ofie kra na wo sua kra de kona kokohwe gu a utiaka. Ukokoto ba bi down me katra o. So ko bola utiaka uniska unhwe efingu. Ona mchero.
Budget ya kan shini mu aye betimi ade atu ye ho.
Nasa kwa me ho na me shase fie. Ana wanti bi.
Se asenya e pray no doso. Ntina mi bi
na sanete na ne bia no doso na me ye ne me na man doso. Nasa na me na man ko doso. Enti papa na obunu maka. Aho me shase free papa no.
Menkayo.
Hey, ani akwa bi.
Na la kuya o kai papa na wo mu no.
O kan say e sese no. National identification no ntino. Ye benya one national ID card.
Na say no dia yaka bre.
Say na mu. Na kwesi kan.
Me kan want.
And say no uni mo kan say yaka nti we even like people say yaka was.
Na say papa. Papa na do.
Nti ne pray no doso. Na
masa ba ku bi so ba no so. Ma dwene ho a minti ase o.
Dey hin.
That's the banking sector reform levy. So what? Na no so as chire no me wa hi.
Say no.
Obi running a bank, one running ye my bank in egu. Abai so discussion. Me o hobia na any kama and so on. After then cutting I say 5% banking sector reform levy. Now 5% e be dem you. And now Metronica for na that bank no mu ko 5% was. Why? Boni be na me mai. Boni be na me mitie mai.
Say usika ka ho.
Misika no eno na yemfa nko ye asimba ambe fa me nko no. Ti ode yase be ka ye sorry sunde. I mean ba ku bi anu de mitie masa ma serious ka me fikra ya pai.
Crazy friend we could not. There pa.
Ne ka sa fe kra de tomatoes no kra de no ye nkra tomatoes bi. Dan so me ka sa busum ye twa mu kwa me. O ka ya. Ma o mu ko fa tomatoes fi Burkina Faso. O ga so me ka sa amro be se ha wo kwa no so pa nti. Ya ka buy more mo buy.
Drivers require ka sanya de o be ko bi.
Busum ye twa mu ye o. Eti e den eja importation of tomatoes.
You mean Akumaran tomatoes?
Kwesi wan can say.
A man of go
akwan so. One can say jai tomato.
O man peni na di kan.
Oh, son kan. Where sure?
Yes.
Kwame won speech no ha.
There be.
Na me tie so can so see we are now a net exporter of food.
No, tomatoes. Tomatoes was mentioned specifically.
So we are now a net exporter of tomatoes.
Tomatoes was mentioned specifically. It said Burkina Faso they offer tomatoes to everybody. Now say ya there my yanko Burkina Faso offer tomatoes in bed. Na aduane asem no kra ka mi twa so we na menu a
kwasi twa so na mintie na ko me ade na
yes mitie kwami
yes
me bua ka kire me obi o tie mi bia me bua mo kan kire me busumi ye twa mu ana poultry pharmacy Ghana poultry pharmacy na kabo mu ni di nkomo be ka kire yen se aburo buo no fa so ni na mo no oya tete wo mu tumi so eti nkosua buo no epega e okay ema nkosua crate e ko do 25 cedis per crate
nkosua buo kosoro
still e was so
say bibi kosoro e mafo
And one back say, woman, never brown be cry, nobody are you feed a man cocoa. Poultry farmers and the back at tray. Ye nimushi crano, ye nimushi crano, Massa, ye did okuno, me did okuno pa, me pedocuno, me penfantidiano, me pencrandiano, me pedocuno different style in me pediedi. Ukoko to dokuno and that dokuno about 2 cities. Me boa. And that dokuno cran had dokuno about 2 cities. So Konya 150 diana, Massa ne size no. Me nana ketua you crow what day next you crow woman back for dear baby aka home. Oh Nigeria.
Crazy.
Do you understand so
Mate. Oh yeah, titi.
So yes we ni mo wo no ahwenda. What dey ko hwa dokunu sane ani bot here. Anu kra chire obibi. Ko ni make ma send this here.
Meba na so nchebia ba minua baako my barracks brother Mubarak Sagabul says I simply can't understand how think you Kwame. As you know, I am Sisala from Tumu. My wife is Fanti from Solpon. So what? Me, I don't believe I travel on a Sisala passport. Oh. We have to stop this. Hey. Mubarak, so you be now I get the drift. You from Tumu, campus go all the way Solpon. Hey. You be wild boy. Good morning, Mubarak. Have a beautiful day. Long time no see, no hear. This one says, whilst he was Minister for Mines, Peter Amewu insisted on foreign companies having local partners before getting contracts. I think it should become the norm with all government contracts. Well, that would be interesting, Francis. Because when him said, so called petroleum sector now, Petroleum Commission, so we need local partner, forget it. Into more be a friend of local content. Only nene moi so benyaka credit. Nana, I don't know about you too much bit me there 2 year home. At least question your aperture say aduane issues and fuel price issues and yet we can be proud to say you bit me aboy and semaka say your 10 numbers on the Ghana card near there. Bana, one of your bem.
You Kwame Medasi.
Medasi so.
No of your brain.
Na people need there. Everybody need there so fear bem.
Sana ene afiwe economy na ya no. Sonko. Esa COVID ya ababehye economy. Ewiase nya omambia economy no abofom. Ya ewo Ghana hanso ye economy no abofom. Nti esese ehwe budget here dey about 2021 ni. Esese ehwe no in the context of the global economy ya COVID dey abeto ye komu. Kwame wo hwe ewiase nya babia economy no is going down. World Bank say it would take 10 years and sana global economy say we are seeing
yes you know
a better say improve to take 10 years because of COVID. Amaya no mo yard nya ye di omani hwom so mo yard omunya economy no a shrink it become negative. Oko Singapore, oko Australia. In fact, Australia put the World Bank say the deepest recession since 1919 because of COVID. Australia called the deepest economic recession since 1919. Now I bet to our economy because of COVID. It been said that since 1919. Japan according to recession. Africa, South Africa, according to deep recession because of COVID. France, the same. Germany, almighty Germany, according to recession because of COVID. United Kingdom, India say, World Bank say, a Juman kwa omushre during COVID, 122 million. India, unemployment, jobs lost because of COVID. United Kingdom, this is the worst recession in 300 years. It's on COVID. Besia Oma bought from the Bank of England in Kwa 745 billion pounds because of COVID. America cried here. Sika Omuji Free Federal Reserve in Kwa last year 3 trillion. Besia because of COVID. 80 global economy nunya atofom, including Ghana. Na no contest na SSA share budget no. Binya kwesika card ya Ebrayan number back. Eyampa. Esa national ID card nipa Ghana for mineo kwesi 15.5 million. And as you say, you could have national identification number. Adebakwa ya name ya as of mine I call your name. Ye nwa no men DC for by every 2009 because 2016. Now your national identification authority in war. Oma nye one ID card for 8 years. Ye nya aja tumze say well ID card back no bia wo ID number. Ebe boy pa President Kufosha here. Ye nwa no buy no mu jatum for 8 years. And can you imagine Senka ye nya sa 15 million ni in 2010 2011 baby anka ye do in terms of say nya benya one ID number everything there bibia. Nti ema hwa say 3 years 4 years President Kufadra by yet me register Ghana for 15.5 million. Men will be a sign pay kuta ID card. Our mugusu aya registration. It says ID card an ID number. And she be your passport number. And a SIM card crowd phone and a SIM card identification number. Well, tax identification and no corny amount number 10 being why any pay what tax identification into 3 million. Potentially on 15.5 million Ghanaians by being tax identification. And you know easier to assess these people for tax purposes. Inti o bank account o DVLA driver's license ninya ba benya one number nti one number no ene ewowa ebekutawa kosita ma bewu countries oma develop sanomo system net ay boa pi akachire nanso eneno etimi aba ema afie kwe ebehuhu susu anso se na one number yi ye de be ne emapi nti ade ba ko a emma a share and crime power budget team. Na minyo kwesi kan se ono de na office enka voter ID card no na esenka ya twentwen so kakra. Eyampa o national ID card no eventually will become your voter's identification. But last year 2020 na enter timetables no ankoshia. Timetables no for the electoral commission. Ne time and so mo your voter ID card. Na ne national identification form dey na kwanko share. Until we're doing it for the purpose of the elections. But here call your nimi a free 2021 equi. You expect to say all these numbers, health insurance, bank account, SIM card, DVLA, health insurance number, tax identification in here will be just one. SNIT will be one. Then when you have a SNIT, your biometric card, na voter ID card, on some your biometric card, na DVL and so your biometric card, na tax will be a be no one and no no. A bit safe cost, a bit promote to efficiency. Enti ade a Ghana for nya say ye de any territory na ye make sure say niema na aban na ka say sa number be ye sa niema ne betimi aye emre pi no kwa me a budget bia e beba Rollins Bresso Kufuor Bresso Yera Mills John Mahama Akufado aban bia ba or the budget by tuniemem senye petrol na ye health insurance and I say a VAT and I say a new tax be ESLA toll recovery way ya the tax back between so 10 bia ne magana for enwen kase ne say eya na mre pi no ye hu eto na e de aba no against eniema na ye expect make I say the road tolls ba ye the call ene baby a day
that's say road tolls because
road tolls but because time road toll was to say ye the buy him say 2009 so kwamu be ka ye the buy ye no the jump the increment no ye can say hey we da no shit baby a near man so free they could do 2009 ye the buy and obi aka za no shit na ene sa rate na ne wo ha be beto ene na inflation na kenka hunti no yes sana because there's what they call 2009 can I be frame kitu e be keke tinesi yes sana but any road toll no po e bia ene one me kai me one city na metria
one city
other cars 50 pesos o dey for the po say omo revise on be to road toll mo akọ 1 city and 2 cities for small cars na hu hia nim se ye be hu sa kwan no ye ni ye
yeah
well say to no po do the ba na Ghana for no hu se ye ya kwan ni ye health insurance there dey be for covid ye hu se vaccine ya ba aban ya kopiska 200 million 250 million they akoto aba ye the Ghana for ye covid be free so ama ya bra aba senate first no ye economy na aba senate first na Ghana for bejatum sanitation toll ye there aba em said 10 pesos was 20 pesos for liter for sanitation say
and only baller tax na kwesi si on tiase
baller tax well na say ye hu say chromo ti baller be ko ba binum kandeshi market no malatanum na si oti say mountain bidim say ne kama popo baller si oti say popo na ye hu say afa ye yi sa baller ye gata si ye yimu baller ya ye ofie ye be fa omani mo tia kenu Ghana for pon nwi because of sika eto na ye twia ana se nto so na e de ba eto no ye hu mfaso because eto de o de ba o crofo be complain and na abrochi memu o de to ba crofo be complain but o timi de ye adwuma na mpuntu adwuma na eto no o de ba ye na ama for beti ase ama the next time we can say yen sentwe bibi fufro na efen koye adwuma we a amanfo beje atom dodo na ne ntema amanfo nwenwen se de to ba if say uhwa no na adwuma ese de to no ye na ye kan se de to no be na kwa na ba kwa na esre kwa se Ghana ha baby cry ye toll we ko no hokra na portals on so chen baby a ye road toll no utria 50 pesos and now 1 cedi no or how do more portals no grass to chen baby na fe toll no say ye tria no baby to say wage ade na free time edit road toll toll booth be see way now betina traffic more 30 35 40 minutes to pay 50 pesos a toll and on them fataye as of man Now nipa ni etwa toll eto nya saneka no twem
Eto
nipa ni betwa eto no na eno no ma no fa atiti mu say a eno kwa ya chen eto na nipa ni ba betwa well inti sa in traffic na be bosso wo toll booth particularly wage ade no is a set Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Roads, local government. And then a digitization na bay. So mo come to Bob near Shekwan, Ministry of Communication. So come to Bob, no more Shekwanya. A bed my yetimetria sa toli say 1 city or 2 cities. So I ain't called saline and tna kemu and ship petrol for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. We had decided na nipa ni twa to no po on complain pi na fe djuma na e kan se de to no be ye no ye mfa nya se ne ko bog dompim wo kaso yi time
sa kaso ade nti e be ndai
time kwame enum na se de to no eye sa e ho no e ba ya che government after government sa government yi e opportunity to solve it nti betwa eto a yen fen solve kaso a ye engineers e wo biase me obi organa ha as ye dia dwen kokosi wan ye ntimi solve kaso a problem I no kutwe to no wo wager utina wager 35 minutes twa eto 1 cedi 50 pesos now ba no asan ba begina kaso a budumburam for 40 minutes no faso ben e ba so you see that is a problem no wo. The delivery, government after government, say ye chia to toll recovery levy, Kwame.
Yeah.
Say go for investment at the buy. Toll recovery levy. So okay.
Oh my God, pa.
Ye free on ye di Esla. So buy.
Energy sector, BB levy.
And now me look. When you say toll recovery, that's what share petrol price build up. No. When you say
really? Nta kwesi price to come on read that.
Well, no, it's a problem in the say. Mo ya the bus ya the be toll recovery. By this time the talk and you train we. Well, that's all. Yet you say you did sa to by in 5 years, 6 years, you tria talk kanu ama ye year free. Then the citizen is confident. So buy case on tria to no fe nya juma bia. Aban the be until tria na yamo hyehyɛ no. But they are not repeat, delivery no na emba. And now I see a 10 pesos who say I hear babato liter of petrol for sanitation. In your agitum say if you know a memory, particularly a big cities, Kumasi, Takrady, and Crankrady attention baby. A problem. They be I assume you dear ho you're embarrassed. Mr. American embarrassed with you.
You
namne fine mu gata mu bon kan. In the says here the 2 be and 10 pesos will liter so. Me tria. But me tria we are. The person me who said there's an improvement in sanitation. Na me nko baby won kan na say me so me hwene. So eno ni mfaso no say it me yes adia. Obia po be refi so tria 10 cedis 10 pesos extra one later so. Nti me de baby a be pese yem focus no econo and say parliament, any civil society, any media ese mo to me hold government to account. What him say electricity baby a utria no tria be for street lights.
Yeah. And the me sabre.
Yeah, this our street light levy can with electricity bill. And yeah, net 10, 15, 20 years ago. Now so street lights na way. So we know cause that's all street light would electricity bill be a ubetria. Utria be for street lighting. Now street lights na way. Shwesa na ukog cry. Uba wan cry hakumasi. He soon I wo. To say na this street light by 20 years ni ɛna baabi a wobɛfa wɔ kuro kɛseɛ mu crab light ni yɛ adwuma ɛno no wotwa atoɔ no a wode ani gye na ɛtwa kɔso wotumi hu mfa soɔ no
Nana yɛnsi fɔ mɛ ɛmɛ aso
enti na mde hyɛ toɔ no ne sɛ once yɛde ɛtoɔ foforɔ bi ba na yɛto mu deɛ amanfoɔ bɛkasa ebi koraa de bɛyɛ politics ɛyɛ fine ɛnyɛ problem NPP for the NDC for Rollins yɛ ne budget or the ɛtoɔ baa yɛ na ɔto mu yɛde yɛ politics kufu ombrɛ so saa ɛnɛ saa but na ɛho hia ne sɛ adwuma no a yɛde ɛtoɔ no ɛbɛyɛ no a yɛaka kyerɛ Ghanafoɔ no yɛnyia yɛni di akyire sɛ sɛ adwuma no yɛbɛtumi di ɛtoɔ no a yɛsɛ adwuma no ma Ghanafoɔ ɛdɛ ɛnɛ ɛmfi sɛ yɛsɛ sɛ baabi yɛni kɔ no
na fire asemi mfa baako ma wo or say, good morning, Chairman General. I hear Nana Kumia speaking with great pain about how the NDC abandoned the national ID which Kufuor started. I agree. It wasn't good. But can you explain to me why they all do it? Once there's a change in government, nearly everything the previous government started is abandoned. Why? Housing, roads, airports, Ho specifically, has still not been commissioned and many more. Why? Don't they know that we as citizens feel very disrespected and insulted when we are constantly being taxed and yet money appears to be thrown away all the time? Why do they do that? Please, Nana, tell me. Fire, good morning.
There's a deliberate and clear pledge. Se bibia previous government that shall see, you make sure see I see a need actually. Se o man timi anto aso ese timi from bra parliament ese media for mutimi from na mu bisa masem hold their feet to the fire. Yes, now the budget you crowd here, one of the paragraphs you are pledging very clearly say we are be 12 BBS into media for Munchina Ghana for name parliament Munchina Ghana for name.
We'll do our bit in service to God and country. Nana minya say de bia mepe. Kwesi practical rape.
Taba na ye buffet no. Enye ne.
There be nana nyene. Me go bia promise buffet bia. E dey ambush buffet.
No, say no ye buffet bi o kwa me.
And come the any Fridays. Any Fridays.
Ah, enye ti okay.
Into the Friday.
Because no ye buffet na me.
Oh, kwesi na say Friday you go here half hours raw.
Na no ye buffet.
Say more than 1, 2, 3 a year. You find it, sir. And I have a chance in around it. Some question about Fridays. That's a question standard. Nana Komiane question prior Damasiano pay. In the meantime, Achim Swedro self-filling station for Nina. Achim Swedro self-filling station for Nina. Yoko Siu Chiamunina and paying. And happy birthday to film director Shirley Frimpong Manson. Nana. Happy birthday to you. Much love to you. Shirley Frimpong Manson, it's your birthday. It's also your birthday today. Echo Blankson, film actor. Echo Blankson, enjoy your day. And it says, a happy birthday to you. Henry Ejekum, a.k.a. Trigger, a.k.a. Biggie Joe of Awudeme Estates. Enjoy your birthday. The family says, we love you dearly. Henry Ejekum, a.k.a. Trigger, a.k.a. Biggie Joe. And to you, lawyer Atu Eshan, happy birthday to you. Thanking God for another year from Mr. Mbia of Multimedia to you. Peace.